Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Behind the Grind. So we are back with some more Space Marine 2, and I know I'm a little late to the party, but today we are going to be talking about the September community update for Space Marine 2. It talks about patch 10, 10.2, and the upcoming patch 11 that we can expect in the month of November. And without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and dive straight into this. Before that though, if you could please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already, I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, big shout out to the channel members for supporting the Behind the Grind YouTube channel. But let's go ahead and talk about the September community update. So we have it up here on screen right now, and as you guys can see, it starts with greetings Space Marines, blah blah, who cares. First anniversary, yup, September marked the first anniversary, nothing of importance here. Latest news, this month we released a 10.0 anniversary, yeah, whatever. You know, just a bunch of stuff. The big thing that I do want to talk about here, though, is PTS will return for patch 11 and all subsequent patches, unless we do another huge anniversary pack. And they did say that they didn't do PTS for patch 10 because we simply didn't have the time for it, which is BS. Of course they had the time for PTS. They always have the time for PTS, but they just didn't decide to do it for patch 10. Plus, we didn't want to spoil the surprise. So that's the real reason that they didn't want to do PTS. Don't be fooled by these developers when they lie to you, especially the game director who thinks that Absolute isn't punishing enough. He says that they didn't do PTS because they simply didn't have the time for it. That's not true. They didn't do it because they didn't want to spoil the surprise. So just make sure you guys aren't getting fooled by these guys who are trying to make you feel stupid. But moving on to stratagems, let's see if they got anything of importance here for stratagems. Add the hardest content in the game. They are not planning to make weekly hard stratagems easier. However, we are going to continue to address some of the issues with daily stratagems in patch 11. So yeah, this is basically confirmation that daily stratagems are random. The reason why the hard weekly stratagems aren't particularly difficult, in my personal opinion, is because they actually handcraft the weekly stratagems. They actually know what kind of modifiers they're actually putting in those weekly stratagems as opposed to the daily stratagems. Yes, I made the comment that the daily stratagems are made by AI. No, it's RNG. But at the end of the day, whether it's AI or RNG, these daily stratagems are not being handcrafted in the same way that the weekly stratagems are. So that's the reason why daily stratagems have some of the battlefield conditions combinations not make that much sense or are too punishing or restrictive for no reason. That's why we had battlefield conditions on exfiltration that didn't allow you to use equipment, which couldn't allow you to progress, or why we have stupid combinations like one armor segment and minus 66% health. The truth is that there are not enough battlefield conditions right now. With patch 11, we're going to add a second batch of battlefield conditions, around 50 of them. Yeah, so around 50 of them, not minus 50 of them, like some people think they said. That's not a minus 50 battlefield conditions, you freak. They're not removing 50 battlefield conditions, they're adding 50 of them. So having more battlefield conditions will allow us to remove some that don't work on their own from the daily rotation pool, which is good. The more stratagem battlefield conditions that we have means for more opportunities in gameplay that doesn't necessarily have to mix in the stupidest battlefield conditions that we already have. All 52 weekly stratagems are handcrafted and are designed to be either hard or fun depending on the week. The key here is to make sure that it's different every week, and ideally players have to alter their playstyle. So let's just close in on this, that the game director is speaking truth here, that the weekly hard stratagems are handcrafted, and that the problem with the daily ones is that they are random, which is why we have all of those bullshit combinations, in my opinion. If it were up to me, the daily stratagems, put the people at Saber to work, have them do 30 minutes a day to think what the daily stratagems need to be. Have them think what they need to be and actually handcraft them, so that way we don't get stupid combinations like the one on exfiltration where we couldn't even advance. So let's see, update 10.2, hotfixes, nothing of importance. Now, this is some of that good stuff right here. This is update 11 teasing. So the upcoming update 11 will be released in November, and we will bring 2 new cosmetic DLCs as announced in our roadmap. The next champion pack will be the Blood Angels, and it will be associated with the tactical class. I already made a video on this. If you want to go ahead and check out that video, I will put it up on the screen right now. I'm not the happiest about the Blood Angels champion being for the tactical class, but you know, at the end of the day, they are giving it its own unique jump pack. So, I mean, I guess I can't say anything negative there. Obviously, they brought in the owned unique jump pack because they knew that they were going to get some backlash, and they're even aware of the backlash right here before all the Blood Angels come to our office searching for Horus. I have nothing else to say about this, man. They don't listen to what the community has to say when it comes to the Blood Angels champion or any other champion, just like the Salamanders champion. Well, that was for the sniper, so I just don't even care anymore. As for the Salamanders cosmetic pack, it will include the heraldry of various Salamander successor chapters, as well as different armor parts. So I also made a video on that. Once again, I'll put it on screen right now. You can find both of these videos, by the way, in the description down below if you have not seen those already. But moving on with the Update 11 teasing, we also have regarding gameplay additions. The next PvE operation will be an off-planet mission introducing a new boss fight. Here's a preview of the inside and outside of the area. So look at that right there. There we have it. Isn't that something? Looks pretty damn interesting, and it's off-planet, of course, so it's in a destroyed Imperial cruiser, and it looks pretty nice. You know, this isn't teasing much, but, you know, it looks good enough. It's pretty interesting. I like what we can see here, and I'm definitely excited to play this new operation. We've also seen that you're having many questions regarding the heroic weapons. We will keep adding new heroic weapons with the major updates, starting with Update 11. We can't show you them yet, but we can already tell you that the Thunderhammer will be among these weapons. Lastly, on the Update 11 topic, a long-awaited feature will be added, bots customization, which is a W for everybody. When launching a PvE operation with bots, it will automatically equip one of your loadouts. We will detail this new feature later on, so bear with us. That's a W all around. That's something that I've been saying that we needed in Space Marine 2 ever since the release of the game, because there's nothing more annoying than booting up a PvE operation that you want to play with bots intentionally, and they don't have your class loadouts, and they're just basic Ultramarines. They're not customized in the way that you want them to. So if you want to run some really cinematic PvE operations by running a squad of Black Templars or like Blade Guard veterans, something like that. Well, not Blade Guard veterans because, hey, you can't use two of the same class. But like Ultramarines or like Blood Angels, then you can definitely do that now with bots customization. So like I said, overall, that's a win for everybody. And there's more news to rejoice. There will be a public test server for patch 11. Stay tuned, which once again is a W. I think personally, in my opinion, each patch needs to have a public test server. Yes, the public test server is only for PC, but it's one of those things that you need to have in the game so that way you can veto out some of those bugs and listen to overall feedback from the community. Even if they don't necessarily listen to all the feedback that we give when they do have public test servers, they do implement some stuff and they do find some of those bugs that will impact the game in the future. So public test servers are very necessary, but like I mentioned before, they didn't have a public test server for patch 10 because they didn't want to, quote, spoil the surprise. So yeah, moving on to heroic items, more comments from the game director right here. We're going to continue adding more and more heroic items to the game, both armor and weapons. With weapons, the objective is to have at least 2 heroic weapons per archetype. Overall, heroic weapons are meant to allow different playstyles. They are meant to be a side grade of existing relic weapons. Powerful only when played in a specific way. Also, there will be more ways to obtain accolades, but only via playing the game. So no pay to win, of course, obviously. I think accolades will be earned through Siege, if you're going to ask me personally. And on Siege Mode will get a lot of additions to its sandbox gameplay, and there are going to be reasons to come back to it. We are not done with it. Reasons to come back to it. Maybe timed events, maybe accolades. We'll just have to wait and see what they have in store for Siege Mode in the future. And possibly the biggest thing that they announced in this whole article, I will make a video on this separately, customization. Over the course of the year, we're going to continue expanding customization options, not only with the new parts, but with new options as well. Without spoiling the surprise, here are some hints about what we're going to implement. Something we should have done a long time ago, something we said we are going to do, but nobody noticed, and something we said we are never going to do. So, go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think they are talking about here. Something we should have done a long time ago. I don't know. Me personally, if I had to think, let's see. I'm not so sure. Maybe like capes or something like that. Something we said we were going to do, but nobody noticed. I'm not sure. I really have no clue what that means. But with something we said we were never going to do, maybe we'll have finally chaos in PvE. But once again, we'll just have to wait and see. If you ask me, I think that the next Siege map that they're going to be releasing in the month of July, of all things, is going to be Chaos PvE. But that's just my personal opinion. And then here we have them trying to sell us a new version of the game that nobody gives a shit about because we already own the game. And then the October community event is going to be the Vortex Scouring. From October 2nd to 16, kill 500,000 Vortex Beasts to unlock the Infiltrator helmet for the Vanguard and Sniper classes. So finally, we can play as a proper Infiltrator. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I saw some people complaining that this helmet isn't usable on the other classes, but to be quite honest, this is a helmet that is pretty much only used on the Phobos armor frame. I mean, it's a Phobos helmet, right? It's an Infiltrator helmet. So, I mean, if you're complaining that it's not on the other classes, I'm sorry. You just don't know your lore. So, yeah, that's pretty much about everything that I got for the Infiltrator helmet. And then tell your mates there's going to be a demo, a Discord quest. What the heck is this? Kill 2 birds with... Complete the Space Marine 2 Discord quest. Playing the game on Steam for 15 minutes of playtime. It's just a bunch of bullshit. Nobody wants to play this. Nobody wants to rock that. But yeah, that's it for the month, man. I can't join the official Discord server because, as you guys already know, I got kicked out. Even if I try to join, I accept the invite. And yeah, so you're unable to accept the invite because I got banned. You want to know why? Because I criticized the game. And God forbid you criticize the game. And yeah, I got banned. So I guess I won't be able to participate in that. But who cares? So yeah, that's pretty much everything when it comes to the Space Marine 2 September community update. Once again, the developers are out to get me by making a Discord quest that I can't participate in. But whatever. They don't allow free speech over there on their platform because... you know, they got sick and tired of me constantly criticizing the game and bringing up good points that at the end of the day, a lot of people agreed with, and they don't like that. If you start rallying people against them, then they're just going to silence you. But that's pretty much all I got for the video. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribe if you are not already. Also, if you wish to support the channel further, I'd encourage you to join the channel membership for exclusive perks. I'm so grateful for all the members, and your generosity is extremely appreciated. Thanks. This has been Behind the Grind, talking about the September community update, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace!